Yo, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Couch Critic. I am joined
And Andre,
and Andre.
yeah,
Bro, this is a solo show, Ray. We'll see later, Ray. We can do our own
it's a
podcast.
solo show. You're saying, oh, I see how it is when said.
You're in mass communication, Ray.
But I go to
Then,
Mars now.
okay, so anyway, in this episode, we are going to talk about the Dark Knight trilogy. And it
Well, yeah.
And unlike the previous episodes where we were critical of both Bollywood and I don't even remember what the first episode was about.
The Last
The
Jedi.
Last Jedi.
The
Oh
last,
yeah, we were.
see, it's that forgettable, bro. It's that
Hey
forgettable.
bro, let's not talk about that. So anyway, the Dark
So
Knight
for this
trilogy.
episode, guys, we are trying to keep things, light and positive and bubbly and whatnot. So we're talking about the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yep.
Yes.
So
So,
I personally think that the Dark Knight trilogy is a really great trilogy, especially one of the best trilogies of you know post
oh,
the new millennia.
well,
It's one of the best trilogies post the new millennia. It's better than. Okay, it's unfair for me to say that it's better than the Lord of the Rings trilogy when I have not finished the Lord of the
uh,
Rings trilogy because I kind of got bored halfway through the second movie. But I think it's one of the best trilogies of all time. Maybe rivaled by the Back to the Future trilogy, controversial opinion. But yeah, what do you think of the Dark Knight trilogy?
well, yeah, I mean, I have a very similar opinion. I also think it is one of I nose is blocked for some reason, so I sound very nasal. So, but yeah, I do think it is one of the best trilogies ever made. Like, I legit grew up with Batman Begins and The Dark Knight Rises. My parents thought The Dark Knight was too edgy for me to watch as a kid, so I watched it only when I turned like 13 or something. Yeah, like, guess now we delve into why we
You
think
watched
it's
it
so
when you were
great.
13 for the first time?
Yeah, I think so.
But you said you watched The Dark Knight Rises in theaters.
Yeah,
So you
I would
watched.
like. Yeah, so the whole Harvey Dent thingy, like it was lost on me as I was watching it in theaters. Like I was just like, what is going on? And I asked my dad, and he's like, you won't get it. It's fine. Yeah, I
Bruh,
just
did
went
he
along with
watch
it.
The Dark Knight?
Yeah, that's how he knew it was too edgy.
Damn, bro. And wait, Ray, if they thought Dark Knight was too edgy, how did they take you for Dark Knight Rises?
I don't know, but it was Batman. Like who cares?
Bro,
Like
Dark Knight
I
was
was a
Batman.
kid, man. Yeah, but like it was Batman, so it was fine to go see it. Like I guess that was the logic, because like I used to watch.
Did you watch Batman
I don't. I
Begins?
don't. I think. Yeah, I had seen Batman Begins. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd seen it. Yeah, at that time. Also, there was this one animated series I used to watch. I'm not talking about Batman the animated series. There was another one I used to watch. So
Batman
like,
Beyond?
no. There was. I don't remember what it's called.
I
I think
think
it
there was
was
one more in
Batman
the
the animated.
2000s, yeah.
Yeah, so I used to watch some animated thing with Batman and a few animated Justice League movies, and I had the action figures. So I was very Batman focused. I really liked Batman as a kid, even if that meant not having seen The Dark Knight. So we went to see The Dark Knight Rises, of course. Like word of mouth was that it was a really good movie, so why not? Yeah.
Hmm. I like you. I think the first one that I watched was Batman Begins, and then I immediately after that watched The Dark Knight, and then I really liked Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. I mean, I my favorite ones as a kid were I'm ashamed to admit it, but it was the Batman Forever and
Batman and Robin. Oh.
no, not
Oh,
Batman
you
and
know
Robin.
what?
I had not seen Batman and Robin yet until I was a
Okay,
little bit
okay.
older. But Batman Forever and Batman Returns were pretty high up there for me. But I also liked Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, even though they were
I think
comparatively,
okay.
less kid targeted.
Okay. So like at the time I saw The Dark Knight Rises, I'm pretty sure I had seen all of the other Batman movies, like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. I had seen a lot, like as a kid. Even as a kid, I thought the whole bat nipples and bat part thing was kind of weird. But yeah, like I saw those movies a lot. I didn't see the Tim Burton one a lot,
I had
but
even same.
Forever
Even I had
and
not
Batman and
seen
Robin,
18
like I
Batman
saw those
89.
movies quite a bit.
I had not
Yeah,
seen Batman
I didn't.
89 for a long time until like I was 12 or something. I had not seen Batman 1989.
Same, see,
I
Batman and Batman Returns. I
Yeah,
saw
so I
like
had seen
one
Returns
scene
though. I had seen Returns
as
for
a
some
kid,
reason.
but
I
then
had
I saw it only when I was much older.
as a kid
Okay,
I
so like
saw.
let's go into why we like the Dark Knight trilogy so much, movie by movie. Let's start with Batman Begins. So, Zach, take it away.
Yeah, so Batman Begins is really a great origin story. I feel like it was, it kind of is one of the most influential superhero movies ever because after Batman Begins, almost all superhero movies wanted to be edgy. There was this entire
Hmm.
period where superhero movies were nothing but edgy, i.e., like Man of Steel. In fact, the entire
Okay.
Man of Steel exists because of Batman Begins, in my opinion, because it really,
Uh,
you
you
know,
know what? Probably yes.
so
I mean, Christopher Nolan literally produced, so like it
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah,
So
okay.
Batman Begins
Back to
is
your point.
really the perfect origin story, and it doesn't spend a whole lot of time on his origin story. Like it's not like half the movie is dedicated to his origin story. Yet the time we are with Bruce Wayne in his origins is time well spent. Like they this movie has really great time management. Like it sets up his origin story, it does the whole becoming Batman, and it
Hmm.
has a lot of action sequences also. So I feel like this movie really managed to distribute time well among everything, and it's just a great movie. Christian Bale is great in it. Christopher Nolan directed it very well. I really like
Gary Oldman is great in it.
who
Gary Oldman, Jim
Gary
Gordon.
Oldman. Oh yeah, Gary Oldman is great, bro. But I don't think I think his performance gets better in the next few movies. That's why I didn't mention him yet. But even Liam Neeson is good in his role, and
Right, right, he was in that movie. Yeah, I
and
almost forgot
bro,
about
the
him.
boy who won an Oscar, Cillian Murphy.
Okay, you
He's
have to call him Cillian, my guy.
what is his name, Then?
Is it not Killian? Pretty sure it's Killian.
Okay, Rick. Okay, Cillian Murphy. So
Okay.
he's pretty good in the movie too. He was supposed to be Batman.
I've seen the test footage. Would have been interesting to see what he would have been like.
Yeah, even I think it was pretty interesting. So anyway, I think the performances all around are pretty good, and the action is great. In fact, the I feel like the scene where the tumbler is first introduced is one of the most perfect scenes in superhero movies. Like that's just
Like,
such a cool scene. The first time he brings out the tumbler into Gotham City, it
oh
just
yes.
such a great scene, and it has such great action. So yeah, I really love Batman Begins. What about you?
Same, honestly, like all of the reasons you said, but also I like that it's also like a redemption story for Bruce Wayne in a way. Like he almost goes down the path where he almost kills Joe Chill,
Oh yeah,
and he
dude, that was
goes
a
on
great
this full.
scene where he
Yeah,
almost
then he
killed him.
just sort of, yeah, like that was a great scene. Then he goes on this full arc of redemption. He vows to become Gotham's protector, but refuses not to. He refuses to become like people like Chill, as in like he doesn't want to become a murderer. That's how he clashes with Ra's al Ghul and all of that. That just made for a very compelling story. I like the crime drama elements of it. Just I really like the way Gotham is portrayed in this movie. Like it feels like a hellhole. It feels like a slum. Like some parts of it, and in I would even say its portrayal here is the best in the trilogy. 'Cause you really get you.
From
There
a
is so
visual
much more
standpoint, I
variety,
agree. Yes.
and then not just from a visual standpoint, just from a presentation standpoint. Like there's more variety in the types of neighborhoods in Gotham in this movie than in any other movie that came out after.
I mean, that is the
Like,
visual standpoint, right?
uh, I guess.
See,
So I
I
mean,
I
look,
feel the
in the
the
see the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises, it's very urban. It's a lot of like
That's
good
what, it's not
neighborhoods
very
in Batman
comic
Begins.
accurate either.
It's scummy. Like it's scummy in Batman Begins. Like I would want to
Batman
live in
Begins
that
Gotham feels
Gotham.
like a Gotham from the comics, and even I agree, from a visual standpoint, it's the best portrayal. But I feel that in the subsequent films, Gotham City kind of became a character, if you kind of know what I mean. You know,
Uh, yeah, I know what you mean, but I don't know if I agree. I don't agree so much. I think it's true with the new Batman movie. I don't think it's that true with the Dark Knight trilogy.
hmm.
If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, I I agree with you. Gotham City in this movie, like they actually built sets and everything. If you've seen the behind the
Yeah.
scenes, and they
Hmm.
took a lot of pain and you know building practical sets and everything. It's it really captures the entire look and feel
Hmm.
of Gotham really well.
Yeah, true. What else in that movie was great? Yeah, all of the action is great. Just yeah. Oh no, I know there was a point in my life where I knew that full movie line for line. Like when
Damn,
it used to play on HBO, and I whenever like it used to play, my mom would always watch it with me, and I should just say the dialogues to her. Even like the NPC dialogues of like random characters, like when the villager saves his life, like whenever he used to say it, I used to say, "I will tell him you saved his life," and my mom would just like
I've had a
tell me
very
to change the
similar
channel or some shit.
I've had a very similar experience, but for a completely different movie. When I was a kid, I watched a movie so much where I could quote every single line from it, just like how you did. But the movie
Hmm.
was Despicable Me 2.
Okay, that's another episode entirely, bro.
So yeah,
But
I
I
think
like that movie to be fair.
I do too. So I think we both wrapped up our thoughts on Batman Begins. Should
Batman
we go on
Begins.
to Dark Knight?
Hell yeah, we should.
So
The
I
Dark
started
Knight.
with Begins. You want to start with Dark Knight?
No, you started Begin. With Dark Knight, sorry.
You start with Rises then, huh?
We'll see about that.
Okay, so Dark Knight, man. What can I say that hasn't already been said? It is probably one of the best superhero movies. I'm sure many people will say it without thinking, but I feel like I should think a little bit before saying it. But so I'll just say it's one of the best superhero movies ever made, and yeah, it's a pretty great crime drama. The Joker is so great in the movie. Probably, I'll just say he's probably the best comic book villain on screen that we've ever gotten.
Hmm.
And yeah, that movie is just great. And even the action in that movie, I think that was the first
Right.
film to be shot in IMAX after a while. Like that movie really got IMAX back into the, film industry as,
Hmm.
like a viable option. And it looks great from a visual standpoint too. The IMAX sequences look great. I just wish that we could see, the IMAX version in its true uncut form. Because the version they show
Yeah.
on digital is cropped a little bit.
Hmm.
But yeah, the Dark Knight, great villain, and Commissioner Gordon has much more of a role in this movie. That's why I was waiting to talk about him in this movie.
Hmm.
This is like the movie where he's kind of being built up. I still think his best performance comes in Dark Knight Rises, but in this movie he is also really great. And yeah, Christian Bale is also pretty great, but he kind of gets overshadowed by Heath
Heath
Ledger.
Ledger.
Also, we haven't talked about Michael Caine, bro, as
Oh my
Alfred, bro.
god. We talk
He's
about
so
Alfred.
great, bro. He's the
Yeah.
best on-screen Alfred ever yet. Like I have
True.
like I'll just say he's the best one.
I can agree with that. Okay, also on the subject, yeah, I agree with it, again everything you said. It is a really great movie. It's not just a great comic book movie, it's a great movie, period. Like, it's a good crime thriller drama. But I feel like when people talk about The Dark Knight, their go to topic of conversation is Heath Ledger's performance, and it is great. Okay, like, it is worth all of the conversations, but the movie just also has a great story. I feel like that gets overshadowed. The whole theme of you live long enough to see yourself become a villain thing is a great theme that they explored in the movie.
I
I
agree.
think the way that what do you call it? The way the Joker sort of torments Batman and taunts him and puts him in these difficult situations, that is great. It's not just his performance that made the Joker a good character. It was
The writing.
his philosophy. It was, yeah, exactly, the writing, the way he was just his approach to making Batman feel small. That is what made him such a great character to me. And I think that that gets overshadowed by the performance on screen. On screen, sorry.
Yeah, I agree. Heath Ledger's passing definitely drew a lot of eyeballs to his performance, and you know what? Very well deserved.
Mm.
He was, probably one of the best parts of the movie. But yeah, the writing deserves a lot of credit. The writing of the movie is great.
Yeah.
The direction is great, and it's
And
just
again, to
one
bring
of.
up the action, it's just the action is also really good. Like that whole scene with the truck flipping over,
Oh
like
yeah, man!
that's just
That,
a great that is a great sequence just to
especially in
see just to
IMAX, it
see.
looks really great.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen an IMAX cut of the movie, but just even seeing it on TV, it's like still a great scene. The way it was shot practically and all of it, like they outdid themselves there, man.
Yep. No, I
Even
don't think
even the
any other
whole
filmmaker would have gone for flipping the truck practically.
true, even the even Harvey Dent, like the way he descends into becoming Two Face, like it's it's almost sad in a way because he's like this rising, this like Gotham's hope in a way, Gotham's shining light, like he's the white knight of Gotham in a way at the start of the movie, and at the
Yep,
end of the movie,
Harvey
he's just
Dent's
this.
arc is great. Like,
Yeah, he's just like this miserable dude that lost the woman he loves, and now he's Two Face. He's about to kill Jim Gordon's wife and child. Like that was again a great arc. Like I can't think of a single flaw with that movie, honestly. Even if I'm trying to be picky, like
you know
I
what?
can just cannot.
Neither can I. And Aaron Eckhart was pretty great in it as Two Face. And
Yeah, you know what?
bring,
He gets overlooked in my opinion. Like he gave a good performance. I have not seen a single post or anything online just talk about how he gave a good performance and how Two Face was a good character.
yeah, Two Face was a really great character, man. And also, now that we brought up, Two Face, something came to my mind. I feel after the Dark Knight, movie villains tried to seem much more edgier, like even in terms of character design. Like this movie, compared, it was gave Joker a very different look than he does in the comics, a much more, dirtier, more realistic kind of look. And even Two
So
Face, if you go to see in the comics and in Batman Forever, he has kind of a comical kind of look with the
yeah.
other side of his face. In this movie, it
Mhm.
goes for the realistic, grimy approach, which I feel like a lot of movies really took influence from. After that, every other movie tried to have their villain look very realistic.
Realistic. Yeah,
Like,
okay, yeah.
I'll give you
That's
some
true.
examples. Victor Von Doom from Fantastic,
Oh
really
yeah.
bad character design, but kind of influenced, I feel. And even the lizard in Amazing Spider-Man 2 looked too much
I
like a real
mean,
lizard. Felt like it should have been little more comic-y, like.
I don't know about the lizard, but I feel like what other art could they have gone? Like he's literally just a green lizard.
I mean, true. Okay, let's not get sidetracked. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, I feel like this movie's influences know no end. Like, it was really one of the most influential movies of all time and of that time. Uh,
Hmm.
Another guy who we haven't talked about yet is Morgan Freeman. What do you think of
Oh
Morgan Freeman?
yeah! Oh my God! Morgan Freeman, Mr. Fox is the goat man. Like, but yeah,
Like, bro, this
like
had
I
such a star-studded cast, bro.
yeah, like we didn't even realize it.
Exactly.
Also, we just haven't talked about Rachel Dawes as a character. Because
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
she got
like I
recast.
yeah, but like I think people actively dislike Maggie Gyllenhaal in the role. I think she's really good. Like I like her in the role. I might like her a little more than Katie Holmes, maybe. I think that's an unpopular opinion.
I agree with you. Honestly, she is a bit better, but not by that much. I feel like both. both of them, like both of the actors were good in their roles. They just, kind of got overshadowed by everyone else in the star-studded cast. So yeah.
I guess, yeah. Hmm.
So should we move on to the Dark Knight
Dark
Rises?
Knight Rises.
Your
Yeah, I
turn,
mean, we
bro.
kind of have to. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. So, disclaimer: I do really like this movie, but it is my least favorite of the trilogy, and I know Zach will disagree with me on that. But yeah, it does have a lot of good things to it. Like for example, the opening scene with the plane. That is an incredible looking scene. It's incredibly shot. Tom Hardy as Bane. It's not comic accurate, but it's still a great performance. It's still a good character. And then also, I thought he was very menacing when I saw him when I was 9 years old. Yeah, I thought he was great. It's a great farewell to a great trilogy. Also, it's the way it's just it's time for Batman to put up the cape. It's time for him to retire, so to speak. And I think it handled that really well. I thought the ending scene with Alfred was really good. I liked how uh, like a certain section of the movie is just how is when Bane takes over Gotham, and how it's so militarized and how they sort of start a revolution to overthrow Bane or whatever, and the stuff with the bomb. I thought all of that was just it was really well done. I think the only problem with the movie, and not really a problem, where it falls short is it takes a lot of time to get there, get to that point, and to get interesting. It's never boring, but it's for a good portion of the movie. It's not at its best. That's sort of why it's my least favorite of the trilogy.
So with the Dark Knight Rises, the first time that I saw it in theaters, and at the time I really didn't like it because I felt like Batman's screen time was too less. But over the years, I've really started to see it in a different light because obviously I was just 9 years old back then. But I really feel that it comes pretty close to the Dark Knight in terms of greatness, and it is a pretty great movie. So since I've been talking about Gary Oldman this whole time, I feel like Gary Oldman is really great in this movie. Like it's the best he's been in the entire trilogy, and he has the most to do in this movie compared to the other ones. And he just shines in this role, and even Christian Bale is like bringing his A game in this
Yeah,
movie. I feel like Christian
true.
Bale's performance is also pretty great in this movie, and Tom
That is
Hardy
true.
is also great as Bane. I mean, I was about to say Tom Hardy is great as Venom.
Bruh. Now, bro. Another episode. Another episode.
Another episode. But anyway, he's great as Bane, and he just kind of got such a menacing vibe to the character. Like you felt like this guy could just crack your neck at any time.
Bro.
Like in terms
Like that
of
scene where he breaks Batman's back is just heartbreaking, man. Like, it's so
yeah, this was
sad, dude.
this was the
Like,
first film in the trilogy where Batman had a physical threat, like a villain who
yeah,
could outmatch him
true.
physically. So that was also really interesting to explore. In terms, and also I feel like this movie is kind of an epic. Like it's a pretty epic conclusion to the trilogy. Like it goes at such a high scale towards the end, but it still manages to pull it off. I feel like the entire you know scenes of Gotham's police uniting, and everyone
Mm-hmm.
unites to face against Bane and his army.
Yeah, yeah,
That part's pretty great. But
true.
you know what, the movie does have its flaws, and the major flaw I think is don't even remember the character's name, but Ra's al Ghul's daughter.
Oh man, yeah, that was I was going to bring that up. I think her death scene is just it's just odd. It's
And
I do not like that scene.
even the
I
twist
think her
reveal
character as
wasn't
a whole
that great.
isn't bad. Uh, yeah, true. It's not that big of a deal. Also, but on the subject of Bane, as good as the performance is and as good of a physical threat, that Bane is. I think he's the weakest of the villains in the whole trilogy.
Really, I
'Cause,
think I think he's stronger than Liam Neeson, man, as a villain, not in terms of physicality.
see, at least Liam Neeson's character Ra's al Ghul represented the polar opposite of what Bruce Wayne wanted to be. Like Bane doesn't represent a whole lot in the Dark Knight Rises. He doesn't have that much of like an intricate philosophy as the Joker had. He's just threatening and he has a big army. That's really all there is to him. There is a bit of backstory about him and Miranda Tate, but it's not enough to give him that much depth as such.
I mean,
That's
I
really the
disagree. I
only reason
think
I
his
think he's the
character
weakest.
had depth. I mean, he got a entire ass backstory that was connected with Bruce. He and Bruce both had to, climb out of the what do you call? What's that thing?
No, he didn't. He
He
didn't climb
did,
out of it. That was Miranda Tate. Yeah, like the
but then
child climbed
oh
out,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
The
yeah.
child
But
was
then
Miranda Tate.
both. What I meant to say was both. Were in that prison, so they kind of had that commonality, and also the entire backstory. I feel like it would have been a bit stronger if Miranda Tate's character was stronger. So I didn't really feel their connection in that way. They didn't really have
Also,
much
I think the way
chemistry.
Bane dies is just very anticlimactic. Like Catwoman just uses the what is it, the bat cord, uses the guns on that to sort of kill him. And that's it. It's very anticlimactic in my opinion.
I mean, I wasn't really that bothered by it because the entire Dark Knight trilogy was built on realistic portrayals, and I wouldn't have wanted that great of a death scene either. I mean, it would have been cool, I guess, but I didn't really mind it all that much, to be
I'm just
honest.
saying a death scene that meant something. Like I mean, in all of the movies when the characters die, it means something. Like it's a significant moment, right? Bane dying was just a moment,
Hmm.
which I found a little anticlimactic.
Okay,
But
I kind
also,
of
again, I
disagree
think
with you. I mean, I kind of agree with you on that.
but also the first act of the movie, I think, is a little weak. Like I think it takes a while for Bruce to
I
to
enjoyed
come
the
out
build
of
up, to
his.
be honest, because it was kind of it was kind of interesting to see a Batman who doesn't want to be Batman anymore. Also, talking about the
I
first half of the movie, what do you think of Anne Hathaway's Catwoman?
uh, I think she did the best she could with the script she was given, but as a character, she is okay.
She
Like
wasn't
she
given very
exists
much
to
to do.
give, like she exists purely to give Bruce something to want. Like like she sort of represents the good life for Bruce, a life where he doesn't have to be Batman anymore. And in that context, I think she does her part.
I don't
That's
know.
her whole reason
I
for
didn't
being in
really
the
feel the
movie.
chemistry between them either. I mean, I didn't mean
Yeah,
to say either because I don't know if you did.
I no no I don't know if I didn't feel it, but it wasn't that strong either.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I just felt like her character didn't have much to do, and I could have kind of done without her character in the film. Like, I didn't really need Catwoman to be in this movie, and I feel like they could have written around her. But I didn't really mind her inclusion in the movie. She was good enough, I guess, with the thing she was given. So, The Dark
True.
Knight, in my opinion, The Dark Knight Rises is a flawed movie, but it just kind of too much of an epic ending to the trilogy for me to think too much about those flaws. The great parts of this movie kind of overshadow the flaws of the movie,
Mm, oh, on that I disagree. Okay, why do you think it's better than Batman Begins?
just
Is
in
it just
terms
because
of.
of like the scale than the epicness of it?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. The scope, the performances
Okay.
also are better in my opinion. Like, I like Bane more than Ra's al Ghul. I think Christian Bale was better in this movie than in Batman Begins. I think Gordon was
Mm.
better in this movie than in Batman Begins. I think Alfred was also pretty great in this movie compared to Batman
But he
Begins.
doesn't he like leave the movie half? like in the beginning.
He does, Ray. Not in the very
Yeah,
beginning, but yeah, in the first
it
30
was
minutes he
it
does
was
leave.
pretty early on. Yeah,
But then
so
he
I prefer him in the first movie, honestly.
I don't, not really. I think he's strongest in the Dark Knight, but I did like him more in Rises than in Begins.
I mean, yeah, I liked him more in Begins because he has, that great line, "Why do we fall so we can pick ourselves up?" Like how for the whole movie he's just sort of there to push Bruce. I liked that dynamic that they had. Since he leaves in this movie, it isn't really there. So yeah, that's why I prefer him in Begins as opposed to the Dark Knight Rises.
Hmm. And which other recurring character is there from Batman Begins? I don't think anyone else, right?
Uh, think so.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
Scarecrow
what did
makes
you
like
think of Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
cameo. Oh, I forgot about that. Well, again, his character is good enough.
I thought his
There's
character
no
was pretty
intricate
great.
depth. I like how he has commonalities with Bruce Wayne in a way. Like they both he grew up in a boys' home. He didn't have his parents. Those commonalities I like. I like how it's set up that he's now the or he could be the future protector of Gotham. Like
Hmm.
stuff like that. I enjoyed that.
That's actually the one thing that I didn't like. I thought that the
Really?
way they revealed that he was Robin was kind of,
For
a
that,
bit
I didn't.
cheesy.
Then, yeah, the middle name thing was goofy, but the way he's set up to be the protector of Gotham now
Yeah,
to
that
take over, I like
ending scene
that.
where
Yeah,
he's in the Batcave and everything, that
yeah.
was pretty great.
Mm.
And yeah, I think that I thought the movie was a pretty great end to the trilogy, and it was the epicness of proportion kind of makes me like it more than the Batman Begins film. I feel like it's a pretty great conclusion to this entire story, and yeah, that's what I think. Any
Mm.
final thoughts?
Uh, I just hope Hollywood makes another Dark Knight trilogy, I guess. Not with Batman, but with
I would have
literally any
actually
character.
liked to see what Ben Affleck would have done with his Batman
True.
in a
Yeah,
solo
well,
movie, even directed by him,
it's true.
because Ben Affleck is a pretty good director. I mean, not always, but he has some
I
pretty
mean,
good movies under his
he
belt.
has a lot of good movies. Like, I mean, even Argo is a
Yeah,
thriller of sorts, right? So he would do
Gone
well
Girl. I
making a
mean, not Gone
Batman
Girl,
movie.
Gone Baby Gone.
Yeah. You do well in that environment,
The
I
Town.
guess. Through the town.
So yeah, I think that
Yeah.
you know it could have had potential, but it's a shame that DC ended up doing what it did. Hopefully, James
And
Gunn knows what he's doing.
I think he does. I think he has a good plan in place. Like I trust him. A lot of people are skeptical, but with his
Same
comic
here.
book stuff, he really hasn't missed once. Even like his weakest work, which is Guardians of the Galaxy 2, it's a good movie.
Yeah, it
It's still a
was.
pretty good movie. Like, even when he misses, he still hits something. So
Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo, yeah,
Even when he misses, he still hits.
yeah, bro,
Yeah, I really like that Scooby Doo movie with James Gunn. Anyway, we are going off topic.
yeah.
Let's conclude
Another
this
episode.
episode. No, I'm not. Bro, why you keep wanting me to cut stuff out? This is great content, bro, for the
And I
podcast.
said another episode. Who said that they were cutting stuff out?
Okay, never mind. You always say at the end of episodes to cut stuff out.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, anyway, guys, that's been the end of this episode. See you guys in more episodes with Andre, hopefully. Chalo, bye.
Hopefully.